Welcome back to the No Cap Show with Lani and Lee. My name is Lee, and of course, Lani is on vacation at the moment. But she's actually behind the cameras at the moment. But we have a very special guest with us this morning, PeachBlok, aka Rishi. What's up, dude?
What's happening? What's happening? Good to be on the show. Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to be here. Glad you're here as well, and glad to be chatting with you this morning. Your new EP is called EP album.
EP, more like an EP, but still got 8 tracks. So
8 tracks, yeah. Usually they say
call it
like
an
EP
EP.
is a 4-5 track album.
4-ish, yeah.
Yeah. But it's called Iris. It's out everywhere. And dude, so stoked this is out. You've grown so much as an artist. You curate shows now for Bangalore City. Super stoked you're doing all this. Tell me more about this EP, Iris. What's going on here?
The idea actually came in a couple of years back, just during the whole pandemic situation. I did release almost 2 EPs at that point, but they were
Right.
all very minimalistic projects,
Mm-hmm.
more like beat tapes, not very serious.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to sort of step up and see what I could do. I was always fond of singing, and I grew up around a lot of people who I admired singing at that point.
Mm.
So the idea was to see if that was a possibility in being involved in sort of trying to push some boundaries and see if my voice could actually be a part of my own project. Because I was always featuring other artists.
Right.
And I was at this point where I was, okay, maybe I could give it a shot. The worst that could happen was, okay, people would think about it as this is absolute garbage and not listen to it.
Right.
But this actually came through at that point. So the idea was to try and see if I could sort of like get a different sound. I was exploring with a lot of synthesizers at that point, exploring more beat-oriented music and trying to see how that could be a little more full-fledged instead of just it being about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, or like a shorter song.
Right.
So the idea was to come out there and be like, okay, now this is actually more serious. This people can actually listen to it as a song, and not be like bedroom playlist and lo-fi and all of that. So
Very cool, dude. I heard I've heard a few songs when you first released them.
Yeah.
I haven't the entire thing out yet, which I will be doing in a bit because I want to sit in my car and listen to it like properly.
oh yeah, you should,
Because
It's a
I feel
good
that's the
drive.
best way to listen to any sort of music also, is just sit in the car
Yeah.
in a little bit of closed space and just pump it up and listen to it. Right?
Yeah, it always helps. Like
Yes.
even right now, I was just listening to a lot of bonobo
Right.
stuff, just on the way albums put together, just one after the other, because that's the space that no one can take over. It's just
True.
you and the car.
It's
and
amazing.
it works so well for some reason.
Which is why we're there as well. We're just here keeping you company as well, man. The radio will never die. Who are the other inspirations for this EP? Like, who did you draw from?
I was at this point I was listening to a lot of Tom Misch. I was, of course, Bonobo is still like a huge inspiration. Of course, Tycho. All of these guys, and of course like Nightmares on Wax, guys like these have always inspired me to put together more musical elements.
Right.
And of course I grew up around a lot of melody, because like playing the guitar or the keys many years sort of like got me into, music has to be a lot about melody.
Right.
So
right.
then your perspective changes and you're like, okay, when you're producing, it's all about you get the drums knocking in first. So the idea of this along with the melody aspect sort of came into picture.
You've composed and produced this EP,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Who's mixed and mastered this one?
A couple of guys. Firstly, shout out to my good friend Doc Oz, Amrit for yeah,
Mr. Tilapes. Yeah,
Tilapes
shout
guy.
out.
Yes,
Definitely.
he was, of course, he was a lot of brains behind a couple of the songs. He was like, oh man, get that out, get this in, get some harmonies. And so you see a signature
Right.
tone of his. He's also done a lot of the harmonies in one of the tracks.
Oh, lovely.
Also helped me sort of restructure one or two tracks here and there, and sort of laid it out in a much more the foundation was much more stronger. And then I took it to my good friend Joel, who's of course my bandmate as well, Sakre. So he got the whole mix down. No matter what time, he's busy as hell.
Yeah,
So I was
sure.
like, yo man, deadlines, can you help me figure this out? Please, I will do anything. and he was able to deliver on point. And so that's how the whole mix and the structuring sort of came into picture.
Sweet, sweet. Now,
Yeah.
you also have a full-time job, right?
Yeah, I do. I teach music. I run a music center.
Mhm.
So we've got about 70 odd students, but I'm just trying to keep it as minimal as possible so I can flex with some time around and do things of what I would like to do.
Right. How do
Yeah.
you balance it, though? I mean, I'm sure it is. You mentioned you keep, keeping it minimal. But
Yeah, it is.
balancing is a challenge, I'm sure.
It
right?
is crazy because I also like on the side I curate gigs. I do some stage management for festivals, but that's still seasonal.
Right,
So
right.
when I get to do this, I try and focus more on the musical academics. You could say we do a
Mhm.
concert once a year. But I try and space it out. Earlier, it used to be way more hectic because I used to start maybe 6:45, 7 a.m.
Wow, good. Yeah,
But-
that's the way that life should be.
Yeah,
That's what I start my day as well, dude.
it is. It is. You got to do the hustle to know what
Definitely.
it takes.
Definitely.
But then I think after a point I started realizing I'm doing more of this, but I'm not writing more music. So now I think the last few months I've started stepping back. I want to try and balance it out a little more
Mm-hmm.
because my goals for this year is just to sort of seep in and ease up into everything that's come in last year.
Right.
So all of these new additions happened last year, and this year is all about just settling in and getting used to it and trying to balance them even more.
Okay.
So that's the goal. I'm sure it'll work out at some point, but I hope that's the way I'm.
As long
looking
as
at
you
it.
have a goal, I think things will probably work.
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Like,
for
you just
sure.
need a goal. Right? So many musicians nowadays as well. I spoke to them, and a lot of them feel like they have no goal where they want to be. Like
Right,
they don't know what the future holds for them,
right.
which is a scary place to be in, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. But as long as you have a goal, as you mentioned, it sort of makes it a little bit easier for you
Yeah.
in life in general, right?
I guess, yeah, it takes a while also to know where your goals are at.
Right.
You are lost as an artist
As
for
an
the
artist.
longest period, not knowing what kind of music you want to do, firstly.
Right.
And then figuring out, because if you get into the production side,
Mm.
producing, that's even more challenging because you got to figure out how do I do all of this by myself.
Correct.
When you're starting out, you don't have a team.
Mm.
And then you start making your own contact circle and everyone starts giving you ideas. So it does take a while, and at the beginning some people get lucky, they know what they want, but I took my time and I wanted to do it the right way,
Mm.
and also learn the process along.
Right.
I think it's taken a good 4 years or so to be here,
Lovely.
to have this piece of body of work out there
Right.
for people to listen to. But I've learned so much along the way, and now I feel like I'm a little more organized, and I know more about what kind of music I want to get into. There's so much more clarity.
Nice.
So
nice.
that lost phase also at one point led to this.
It does. It's very important to actually go through that phase, in fact, right?
It does, yeah. But some people can get lost. It can be tricky, and you might
Yeah.
want to give up. And that happens, which I see people just give up and move back to, I'd rather just do a 9 to 5.
Right.
And it's fine because the important thing is they've all tried, and it's difficult. So we all know at one point that it's not everyone's piece of cake.
I want to ask you though, when you're in a project like this, is there something called work-life balance? Does that even exist for artists?
For music,
Yeah.
maybe from time to time. From time to time, yeah.
Man,
Because you're working actually all the time. You're working on the
Yeah.
weekends. You're working maybe 12 o'clock in the night, and 1, 2 in the morning you get
Yeah.
messages. And you're working from continent to continent, organizing tours when you're getting people down from the UK or Netherlands or wherever it may be. They're all messaging you at different times, and you have to be up to make sure
Yeah.
that happens. Yeah.
You can't be like, I wake up at this time, I'll talk to you when my working hours are. That doesn't
Yeah,
work in
it
this
doesn't
in
happen.
this field, right?
Doesn't happen. But you get your fair share of, it's important to draw boundaries.
Yeah.
It's
Super important.
once you figure out how I'm able to deal with this, then
Yeah.
you start drawing boundaries because it's important.
True. Yeah, because like as you mentioned, I think some of the perks are great, right? You get to go for festivals for free. Get in there.
Some
of them.
Some of them.
But okay,
Gigs for sure.
tell me some of the most challenging, challenges that you face as a stage manager. Like maybe an interesting story that happened, something that went wrong, or you don't mention who or what the stage was, but just tell me one incident that happened that kind of.
The most recent, I guess, I mean, we had to deal. That was still all right, I guess. Maybe on stage, you mean you want me to talk about dealing with the person?
Maybe,
or
yeah, dealing with the person
or
backstage,
like how
anybody.
just the stage was like all
Anything
over
that
the place.
I would also like to know, like maybe some artist that you know was really like annoying to you. You don't have to
these are
mention their
some
name.
big names.
Don't mention their name. It's fine. But like we can just I want to know what
Yeah.
happened. Like
I mean, yeah, there was a point where we had, I guess, 20 minutes changeover from, and this was our main act. We had a 20-minute changeover, and we were trying to figure out, okay, how to get this drum setup from there to here without because this artist needed only that particular drum set, and which
Okay.
was only for him.
Right.
So what happened was during that changeover, the previous act was getting out, the next act was getting in. A lot of people on stage. There was too much chaos, and it's
Correct.
dark. You can't see shit. What ended up happening was the whole drum riser got stuck at one corner,
Oh no.
and the show's almost we've got 10 more minutes now. We wasted 10 minutes in figuring out what's going to happen. What ends up happening is when we're trying to pull the drum riser to the center, the whole drum kit sort of collapses.
Oh my goodness.
Whatever setup's been done during sound check in the morning for about an hour and a half has all been gone haywire just at that time. So we had to reorganize the entire drum kit, move this riser to another corner, and move the existing drum kit from the center, push that out, get this one in. Yeah, I mean, it was chaos.
Did it did it happen on time?
We
show
were 10
started-
minutes late.
Okay.
So that's okay, but
10
that's
minutes is
fine. That's I mean, 10 minutes on a festival is nothing.
It's fine. Yeah. What did
It's
the artists
fine.
say? What was
They were okay. I mean, we were all like, hey man, yeah, cool, yeah, all right. Now we settle in. It's all that, yo, you gotta get that doing, you gotta get that moving, yeah. And then people are swearing at each other, and we're like, okay, calm down.
But in that moment,
And-
when you're like so passionate about it, because you have to get the job done, right?
Yeah.
Do you care about do people care about people's feelings at that moment?
Yes and no. That's when my role sort of comes in, and when I see someone else going at
Yeah.
someone who cannot stand for themselves, that's where a stage manager's role comes in. And be like,
Right.
yeah, you can't talk to him like that. He's my guy. He's
Correct,
helping you out. His goal is to make sure that your job gets done.
Done.
And we're
Correct.
trying our best to do that.
Yeah. Well, man, that's chaos indeed.
Yeah,
dude.
it was chaos. And then sometimes you got to deal with some really interesting people on stage,
I'm
off stage
sure.
also. It takes a lot.
I'm
Takes
sure,
a
man.
lot of energy
I'm
out of
sure.
you. Yeah.
But maybe you can add an EP about it as well. Try and sneak that in here and there to some songs as well.
Call the names of the songs. Maybe that. This happened. Experience. Be like, hey, what's the song about?
What is Drum Riser about, dude?
That's a good name.
See, if you
That's
take
a
it.
good
Yeah.
name. Lee, credits to you if that song ever comes out.
Well, this is the new EP. It's called Iris. It's out everywhere. You can scan this if you want right now. I'm going to hold it here for a bit. Scan this and check it out. And of course, find him on his socials. What's your socials, man? Drop it in.
PeachBlok, yeah.
PeachBlok, which is spelled as
PeachBlok.
Yeah, Blok, not BLOCK, BLOK.
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 That's right.
Once again, dude, Rashid, nice to meet you. And, thank you for coming down once again.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here.
Any last words to tell people of Bangalore why they should be, and people of, in fact, Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, why they should check out Iris?
It's very experimental. Also, there's so much effort that's gone in. Different elements that may sound new to you. It's got some interesting features. I've got some brilliant artists from the Indian music industry who also have remixes on. So it's not just the 5 tracks you're listening to. You're also listening to an additional 3-track remix that's in there.
No, sweet.
Yeah, you should check it out. So the music video is out now. You guys should go check it out on YouTube and my Instagram page.
All right, PeachBlok once again. And before I let you go, I have one question for you. Okay, if you get this question right, I'll put one of the songs up.
One
on
IPL ticket, please.
My God, demands are already flowing in. Okay, if you get this question right, I will feature one of the songs on air at the moment. Okay.
Sick.
Okay. She is the queen of pop music and has a career spanning decades. Who is this legendary artist?
Rihanna.
Ooh. Answer is actually Madonna.
Oh, come on. You just gave me spanning for decades and she's Da 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 da.
But I'll take Rihanna as well, man. All right. Well, here's something from the EP. Thank you so much, Rishi, once again, and have a great day.
Cheers. Pleasure.